we have reversed it and we say, if we have the sex, then I go carry you out. If we have the sex, then I go wash the wares.
Yeah.
Then I go talk to you nice. So when I was sex, what baby, where you going? And some women, that's the first time they hear nice words and the last. So we are saying then, sex then should be the physical expression of the aspects of intimacies that has already taken place in the relationship.
Hey, so it's your boy Keston Hula and we're here at the live couch and I'm here with my boy Jerome Birch and we have a special guest with us today. I know you can see the man on the side here, Pastor Don Hamilton. So today's a real, what did I say, taboo?
Very taboo.
A kind of taboo conversation in church life, right? I don't know if to put it like, we will call this session Skin to Skin. Yeah, I mean, if all you don't know what we're talking about sex today. Right, so here what's going on. Seeing that we're talking about sex, I feel like we're going to bring a special guest on as well, you know. But before we do that, let me give you some people who we had a shout out here today.
Yeah, first and foremost, I must say thanks to our biggest supporter right now, JLC. They are celebrating 75 years this year. Big up to the pastor from JLC, Pastor Ejel Messiah. Also, we want to give a special thanks to Ring Films for doing all the production for us. Thank you very much. And also Love Moments. Thank you very much for all the food and decor arrangements and things. Thank you very much for supporting the brand.
Yeah, we must shout them out and I feel we talking a little too much. Let me get right in this thing. I'm bringing out somebody here who's not a customer. But she going to make this thing happen because there's a little too much testosterone on the set here today. You understand?
Yeah.
So we feel when we're talking about this topic, we needed a nice lady on the scene here today. And we just bring any nice lady, you know. We're bringing out Miss Birch herself, you know. So we're bringing out Miss Dion Birch and we're going to do this topic here with them, skin to skin.
I must say, thanks to my beautiful wife for joining me today. Wasn't easy, but she's here and she's making the sacrifice to have and to deal with this very sensitive topic. But
very sensitive.
Yes. And we bring in the big guns. Understand? And I will just leave it right there and introduce Pastor Don Hamilton. Don, tell us about yourself.
Well, I tell people that I carry different hats. And my first and primary hat is that I'm a married man. Because I have plenty of work. All right? And then I'm a father of 2 sons and 2 daughters. My first wife, actually, of 30 years, she passed away, and I'm remarried. And my wife, Donna, so I'm Don and she's Donna. So she's the extension, I'm the abbreviation. And she has 2 girls, and so we have 4 children. I work also as a pastor since 1986, thereabouts. I've been pastoring. But then as I engage and work with people, I realize that there are some things that are not addressed in theology. Family life issues now. And so I went and pursued training up to master's level in family therapy. So I have my own practice. And I just want to serve people with authenticity. That's my goal in life, empowering people. So we don't have to be churchified.
All right.
You know, just be real. You don't have to be vulgar. Just be real. And we speak to issues. We also have to accept levels of our own ignorance. Because if you don't know something, don't talk about it. Admit that I don't know. I may research it. I may come back to you and so on. Because I think it's it's unprofessional and unethical to dabble in people's lives and minds when it's outside your domain of training or expertise. You see? So that is why I like to use my own home and family as my own laboratory, collaborated by science and research. So that's how I kind of balance the thing. And of course, by engaging in authentic conversation with my clients and different people, I could also get a sense to verify, hey, this is how things are going down. So you're not an armchair psychotherapist or theologian. You have to keep your feet on the ground. Many years ago in my first marriage, I was having some problems very early, real early. And the problem is, I had a girlfriend before I got married, and that relationship didn't turn out good.
All right.
I broke the relationship, and I look back, coughing myself in the head, saying, boy, what do that for? But then 3 or 4 years after I met my wife and I got married, and in the first year of marriage, boy, was pressure. According to the Jamaican, was adjustmentation. And all of a sudden, I started to long for the girlfriend because we had something steady and nice, and I would break it. So you ever hear about torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool? Right.
I don't know, but let's hear.
Ask if you ever hear about it.
I didn't hear about it.
All right,
I
good.
hear about it now.
That I want to know. So I'm there and I caught between, boy, my heart's on. And I tried to get church leaders to help me navigate. And that's over 34 years ago. I tried to get it. And all they gave me is Bible verse, boy. And pray about this. And trust the Lord. Hey, listen, I have issues of the heart. Well, they help me out, man.
Yeah.
And so that is part of the challenge that we experience. And so it kind of catapulted me into a need to find answers to just to help myself initially. But as I started that journey, I realized, hey, wait, so many people coming to me for answers. So what the church has done, I have a long answer to a short question.
No, you
right?
go ahead.
What the church has done, we like to camouflage and to hide. We're not real. So I had my wake-up call. So just about maybe end of the first year in marriage, me talking to my wife, she talking to me as a pastor. But when we go to church, everybody had to smile and praise the Lord. It's a big set of hypocrisy there.
Oh boy.
So we had a visiting speaker at our church. Speaker know me, and all the things that speaker addressed was marriage and family. How a man should treat his wife, how a woman should treat her husband. And I wasn't treating she good,
All right, so you get into that. All right.
So boy, I on the platform there. And every night the woman throwing pepper in my womb, boy. I said, so were you in my business for, woman?
Yeah.
What you in my business for? As if God was just using her. And a day I'm waiting for this week of meetings to finish. That's my journey. So the last night of the meeting now, she called all the couples who have been problem in their marriage. Come for prayer.
I sure nobody in Russia, girl.
Nah, people flood the altar except me, partner.
Except you.
Except you. All right, go ahead.
I say, me going away. How do you look?
Yeah.
True.
You is the pastor.
Yeah.
And you going up for prayer with the rest. No. So I stayed on the platform there. Ting. You know, boy, my wife left the back of the church, walking down alone, crying, coming to the altar. And I trying to, hey, girl, go back and sit down. Which girl, go back, you're embarrassing me.
Yeah.
I get so mad, I say, if you only come up at the altar, all in my mind, I say, you're there alone.
Wow.
So she come this side, so I went that side. So I stand up there watching the scenes.
All right.
Now she was so conspicuous. The preacher said, lady, your husband is in this service. She said, see him there? Look him there in the pulpit. Oh God, bye.
Wow.
Look, the earth crowd open up.
Yeah.
So it was my wake-up call that there are a lot of silent sufferers.
Yes.
In the bedroom, in their marriage. And the ironic thing about life, we just tell, I don't want nobody to know my business. But when the mark boss,
Everybody know your business.
Everybody know the thing.
Yeah. So let me start.
So that's my
out-
turning point.
All right. So let me go back a bit, and hear your side of the story when you were searching for help amongst the pastors 34 years ago. All right. How did you feel in the counsel that you were getting at that point in time, and what made you feel like that was not enough?
Well, counseling itself was not done those years ago. It was really a replication of mini sermons. All right, a little preachy money in the session there. So the counseling as we know it.
Right.
So a lot of people saying, "Come to us, we're doing counseling." It's really preaching, sermonizing. Because I remember in my premarital counseling with my blessed pastor, going to be with the Lord, he announced that next week we're going to talk about sex. Well, as a youth, I ready to go. I want pastor drop it.
Yeah.
So set up there. Pastor asks one question about sex. He answered it, and then we move on.
And that was it.
Yeah, I ain't get a chance to talk. So he just move on. So after you get married now, you have to kind of find your way. There's a penis, there's a vagina. The penis, when it erect, it's 45 degrees. The vagina is 45 degrees, so maybe that fitting inside there. Or, if you didn't grow up in church, all that your partner tell you and you read in a little porn book and thing, that is how you do it.
Yeah.
So, through trial and error, you could find your way, as well as you may not find your way.
Yeah.
And that's part of the realities. And so, when I started to do professional counseling and I realized in the church, boys, people don't know. But we don't want to admit, because it's a little embarrassing sometimes to say, hey, I really don't know, because you're a big man, I'm supposed to know so.
Yeah.
But you really don't know. So while you announce the topic, skin for skin, talking about sex, I understand the imagery.
Yeah.
But sex is more than skin.
Yeah.
All right.
Right? So I speak to 5 dimensions of personhood. We are physical beings. We are mental beings. We are emotional beings. We are social beings. We are spiritual beings. So sexuality in its purest sense must embrace all 5 dimensions of personhood, or else we would lose the point. So one of the challenges we do have is this thing called reductionism, where we reduce persons to just one dimension of personhood. And because of that, we're having untold problems in sex and sexuality. Let me give you an example of this, right?
Sure.
I live and study in Jamaica, and there's a Jamaican artist, I wouldn't call his name, right? But he had this song, I ain't give a damn, all I want a slam, I ain't give a damn.
What year that was?
Nah, I ain't gonna tell you. Right. So what he basically saying, he ain't give a damn about the woman. All I want is our sex.
Yeah.
You see? So look at this. Your emotion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Then you had Beanie Man. Old dog like me.
Yeah.
Must have them in the twos and threes.
Yeah.
Everybody know me wild already.
Fast
Believe you
Styles.
me. Hey. No, look at that.
Just I know half of them singing, right? But they don't sing the song.
Right.
Go ahead, Pastor.
So here's how we reduce sexuality. Old dog like me
Yeah.
must have them in twos and threes. Everybody know me wild already.
Yeah.
So again, there's no fidelity.
Yeah.
It's about who you could sleep around with.
Yeah.
And so these are the things that inform us.
Right.
And then for people who are married, we have our own Calypsonian who's saying, a deputy essential. If boredom is a threat, a deputy. So outside thing, okay.
Right. And
if
they
you're
have their
bored,
messaging. Yes.
so hearing his message.
Yes.
But then of course you have the more smooth song like Mrs.
R&B,
Jones, which you don't know about, maybe not.
I
See, and then we have, Mariah, Get a Man of Your Own, all them kind of.
Yeah.
So we have been cultured and socialized not to understand sex and sexuality. So some of the brothers and sisters, they come to the church. The church is silent.
Yes.
And where do I get my reference point?
Right. So let me jump in here. So is it safe to say, because we here at the Life Coach, we pride ourselves on trying to tackle the taboo
Right.
issues,
Right.
right? But could we say that sex, the topic of sex, is a taboo issue within the churches?
In older years, I would say yes. All right. Let me explain what I mean. There are two cultures that operate. You have the dominant culture and the subculture. The subculture is outside of the radar of people. So a lot of Christian parents and pastors and so on assume it's a taboo. But in the subculture, check your phone, check the internet.
Yeah.
So the young generation, they may know no taboo. Them intersex in all form, all fashion.
Right.
So he had this Christian father. Years he talked to his son about sex and sexuality. So he trembling. And he says, son, we have to talk about sex.
Trembling, yeah.
And the youth man say, yeah, daddy, what you want to know?
Oh boy. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So with this matter of taboo, it might be just for a generation.
Yeah.
But there is a younger generation, where they call it the Z generation, the Alpha generation. They are born with technology and exposure to sex and sexuality, whatever version it is, at their fingertips. And so you may have a kind of humming, but it's there. It's not there at all.
Is it in what context is it there? Because on an average Sunday, you're not going to hear about the sex or on the Bible study or so, because based on my observation, I haven't seen this topic floating around in the church circles.
Well, that's the point I'm saying. On the dominant culture, it's not part of the lingo of the conversation.
Yeah.
But in the subculture, it is.
Right.
The question is, why aren't the senior pastors and leaders connecting with the youth culture? And that is the question. And when you go from person to person, people to people, you would find various kinds of responses. So one size doesn't fit all.
Right.
I was saying to some of our colleagues downstairs there, I remember before the program, I went to a place to do a workshop on sex and sexuality, and a Christian lady, she said, "You're always talking about sex. Is it that you have some problem that you're trying to work through?" So you have that resistance. That, no, if you're talking about, it's like this. If a pastor starts preaching about tithes, obviously he has some money issue.
True.
Right? So if I start talking about sex, come on.
Yeah.
Like he ain't getting nothing home or some kind of something happening.
Yes.
So that's one reason why it is a topic that you kind of stay clear of. Another reason is theology. Paul in Romans says, nothing good dwelleth in my flesh. Now, the word flesh there is the word sarx or sarkikos, which means sinful nature, but not your physical body. When your physical body is used, the word soma is used. So when you talk about psychosomatic, mind, body. So when some preachers and pastors in the old schools read, there's nothing good dwelleth in my flesh, immediately they think was soma. And so anything associated with the body, you stayed clear from it. So it became a taboo. And the Christian church very early was influenced by Greek thought, particularly Plato. And Plato had a philosophy of what is called dualism. All spirit is good and all matter is evil. So then the body then comes under matter.
Right.
So all the passion and desires, that is evil. You stay clear from that. You're not supposed to feel pleasure. So then sex is only primarily for procreation. And that's why in some cultures they practice genital circumcision for women. You see, where they cut out the clitoris because you are not here for pleasure. You're here basically to procreate. So because the body is seen as evil and sinful, then it became taboo. Look, let me tell you a story I heard. I don't know if it's an anecdote, but I heard of this brother who started to pray in church, and he started to thank God for his body parts, beginning from his head. You know, he mashed up the prayer meeting. Because by the time we get down to the navel down so, oh God, Mama and them was running out of church, so calling pastor to tell him shut up. Because we cannot conceive a man praying for happiness and thanking God for it.
Wow.
You see? So the disconnect. Another contributing factor is that the older parents were not too comfortable with talking about their body parts.
Right.
So many of us, we grew up not hearing the
correct
real
name.
names.
Yes, yes.
So words like penis and vagina was a cuss word.
Correct.
So you had pinky link and butterfly and cocolokes and choco and toto and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So big man grew up. I never know penis, I know toto.
Same.
Interesting.
I don't know.
But here what happened to me, when I went to Jamaica, I was studying there, master's program in the evening, you're hungry. And I have a good friend, Claudette. I said, Claudette, let's go and get something to eat now. She said, yeah, let me go. I feeling for a toto. So I said, what?
Oh boy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I said, Claudette, what are you feeling for?
So that wouldn't cross boundaries.
No, I thought that the Caribbean cultures were homogenic, but it's not.
Yeah.
I said, you feeling for what? She said, a toto. I said, Claudette. So all right. We go into the pastry shop now, and when we got there, she watching in the glass case, and she said, "Hey, them toto small, eh?" I said, Claudette.
Oh boy,
No,
Claudette.
what I didn't know, the Jamaican have a small little cake called a toto. You understand?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, if you don't teach the proper thing,
Yes.
Right.
your children will get problem. Because here's what, a lot of church people then, because this thing is taboo and off limit, they get the raw terminologies when they expose in school and online and all them kind of thing. And so the crossover is very, very, very difficult for some of them.
So do you believe that the church should educate?
Or should it be from home, family? Should it start with the parents?
No, but this debate is raging on between three bodies: home, church, or state. That's where the argument is. And I'm coming to your question because the current conversation is that the state, Europe, North America, Canada, they are moving to remove sex ed away from home and church. So with the sexual comprehensive agenda or curriculum, where they are saying a redefining of gender, redefining of sex, the whole matter of the umbrella that will cover all of the genders. They are saying that belongs actually to the state. And so some parents, if they even attempt to teach the child about gender and sex, it could be criminalized. So coming back to your question now, because many parents have not done the job, they are now faced with the challenge of their children coming home with all kinds of different perspectives on families. And they're struggling. How do I explain that? In between the state and the family now, the church is caught somewhere in between there. And in reality, depends on who is the leader. If I think my primary role is spiritual education, I ain't touching nobody. I ain't touching no sex. It is about teaching you about loving God and getting to heaven. So we're caught between that matrix between church, state. But in direct reference to your question, the primary agent, when you study sociology, right? The primary agent of socialization is the family. So I think that the family should be teaching the norms, the values, the sense of our worth, and so on. The church, I think, should be the social conscience to assist both the state and the family to keep its perspective clear. Because what happens, the Western cultures have gone humanistic.
Right.
It's all about human achievement, human mind.
Yeah.
And so the church needs to speak to that and bring spirituality into the conversation. Right. So when I talk then of sex, and I talk about sexuality, and if I choose to use the Bible then as a basis, the Bible then would in fact knock on the door of four important aspects of speaking about sexuality. For example, one, Genesis 1:27. God made man in his own image. He made them male and female.
Yeah.
So the Bible speaks to binary,
Yeah.
not non-binary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Male and female. 2, the Bible says, be fruitful and multiply. So here it is. The male and female is tied to their sexual identity, the capacity to reproduce. What the world has done, and the church and the family is caught, they say, you know what? Your sexual identity is how you look physically, but your gender identity is who you think you are in your mind.
Yeah.
So I could be, my sex assignment or my sexual identity is male, but I might be female in my gender, and I'm caught in a male's body. But the Bible doesn't make those complications.
Yeah.
Male, female,
Yeah.
then it says, your sexual identity be fruitful. And then it says, you know, for this cause, a man shall leave his father and mother. There's no confusion there.
Right,
Not his
right.
2 daddies or his 2 mummies or his partner. It's male and female.
Yeah.
And shall be joined to his wife.
Yeah.
That's female again.
yeah.
Male and female.
Yeah.
But here is the sexual part. And the 2 shall become one flesh. So the one flesh union speaks powerfully about a mystery that takes place in sex. It is not just skin meeting skin. In fact, Paul in Corinthians says, when a man is joined to a harlot or a prostitute, he becomes one in spirit with her. So when a man and a wife have sex, it's more than just body parts. It is a connecting of mind and spirit, and it's only the church can bring about a conversation like that in the matrix of state, church, and home.
All right. So since we're here, and we like to help out our audience, because we definitely have parents here looking on.
Right.
In all that what you said there,
Yeah.
could we simplify it and give a recommendation to parents and listen, how do they deal with having this conversation? Because it's not an easy conversation
Right.
to have.
Right.
So how you think we should go about as, well, I'm not a parent yet,
Right.
but for the parents listening,
Well,
how
but
can they go about
for the
it?
parents, listen, I would say don't talk to your children. Talk to yourself first. Because if you're not comfortable with nudity, if you're not comfortable with just the conversation about sex, why am I going to release you to your children to mess it up? Parents have to meet and start to talk about sex and sexuality and break down some of these mental, emotional, and social barriers that their parents establish and begin to talk freely. So parents speaking to themselves and becoming comfortable with the conversation, being comfortable with their own nudity, comfortable with their own bodies, comfortable with their own sexuality. That for me is the primary conversation that we need to have, adult to adult. Right, you know?
Yeah.
And then with that in mind, we can begin to now open that conversation with our children, because I'll tell you this, children will ask questions. There's a maxim that says, fools ask questions that wise men can't answer. And so children will ask questions.
Yeah.
At what age? Let's go back to the state. The state is targeting 3 and 4 year olds.
Yeah.
So you cannot wait until your child starts to see their menstrual cycle or a boy having a nocturnal emission then to talk. 3 and 4, you have to start talking to your children about sex and sexuality if you're going to be a Bible believing person. That is the age. No, you don't have to be pornographic.
Yes.
Right.
But don't tell the child, well, a bird bring the baby or a plane and all them set of stories that we have heard.
Yeah.
You start pretty early about talking.
And
No,
what
and this
would that
happens.
song like?
No, okay, this one
For
gets into
example,
that, man.
yeah.
So in a natural thing, so you're bathing your baby, and it says, son, I'm going to be washing your penis now, or baby, I'm going to, and you kind of, so they become more comfortable with this, and this penis is not just for peeing, when you grow older, and baby, and this one.
Right.
And so it's not a question that you're jumping them with. You gradually talk to them, this is your bottom, this is your thing, and you see, and comfortable touch and uncomfortable touch, and you do it like that, and you come along the road. Now, another way that you can do it is that sometimes you'll be watching a television show or you're reading a book, and that's a teaching moment.
Yeah.
Because when children see two big people kissing,
Correct.
So you take that as an opportunity now to talk about kissing
Yeah.
and what it means and so on and so forth. So that life coach, life becomes the curriculum.
Yeah.
When you study how the Hebrews taught their children, in the book of Deuteronomy, there is called the Shema. They would teach the creed of Israel. Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one. Yeah. Now, how would they teach the creed? Moses says, teach them when you walk by the way. Teach them when you rise up. Write it on your doorpost. Write it on the lintel. You see, in other words, life now becomes the teaching moment. You see, the other thing that I want to push to is that parents have not embraced each other in a romantic and sexual way. That is also important for the child to see. Mommy hugging daddy, daddy hugging mommy, mommy kissing daddy. And you know, of course, you have our friend Freud who talk about the Oedipal complex where boys get jealous of their fathers and mothers. And it always happens.
Yes.
So little boy see, daddy hugging up mommy and he coming, like my woman. You know, so you have to teach your children now by giving the expressions of love and care and so on. And then teach them the purity of it.
Right.
Because you could hear something, I never see my mom or daddy kiss. I never see them hug up. I never. My home must be a place then where sexual expression is not just simply in the bedroom. Because guess what? When we grow older and we get married, that's one of the number one problems we have in marriage. People think sex starts in the bedroom. But it had dirty ways to wash.
Yes,
You have bills to pay.
Yes,
You have bills to pay. So I'm saying, in celebrating the total person, sex then becomes just a physical, hear me now?
Yes.
Sex is just a physical expression of what has already happened mentally, socially, spiritually, and so on. I wonder if you follow me.
Yes.
Now, we have reversed it and we say, if we have the sex, then I go carry you out. If we had the sex, then I go wash the wares. Then I go talk to you nice. So when I was sex, oh God, baby, how you going? And some women, that's the first time they hear nice words and the last. So we are saying then, sex then should be the physical expression of the aspects of intimacies that has already taken place in the relationship.
All right, so because I was going back to this thing where we're dealing with the parents. So before there's sex education to the children, right? I don't want to leave them hanging in the sense of what are some of the tools they could acquire to help them deal with their issues, the parents that is, before dealing with the kids.
One of the things we are missing in our culture is parent support groups, because you may think that you alone experiencing issues of sexual identity and sexual identity formation, sexuality, but you're not alone. So we need the support groups to be started where parents support and compare notes. 2, we need to be seeking out professional care. There are some professionals who would help us. Now, I don't necessarily embrace the secular humanist professionals because they are going in a direction of the agenda of the state. But there are professionals who will help us understand parenting skills and self-awareness and self-knowledge and so on and so forth. And then there are some good books around. I don't have the time to give the list of good books that are around that people could seek out. Focus on the Family, they have a series of books, anything with Dr. James Dobson, nice works on parenting and so on and so forth. And there are books that's out there about sex and sexuality. Ed and Gay Wheat, Intended for Pleasure is a good word. Years now, people have been using Act of Marriage by Tim and Beverly LaHaye. So there are books out there that people could be reading to help them understand and to grow about sex and sexuality. Now, I'm wary of Dr. Google because some people, anything they want to do, and they're taking it, download it like gospel. Without necessarily assessing and evaluating that kind of thing. So, you see?
So we're delving into the sex of in marriage, I would say. And what are some of the challenges that, they would face in the bedroom? Because we express in what they would do with their children and stuff like that, but it starts first with them.
Right.
So as a pastor and a counselor, what are some of the difficulties that we Christian face in the bedroom?
All right, so you're going from the kitchen to the bedroom. All right.
We gotta get there. That
But you see, part of the problem in the bedroom is in the kitchen.
Right.
And it's in the living room.
It's anywhere.
Right, good.
Anywhere.
Let me start by stepping back, and I've framed the acronym called STEPS to refer to intimacy. And the bedroom problem, I think I go back there. STEPS. S, social intimacy. So when couples do things to build their social intimacy, it spills over in the bedroom.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Social intimacy build. Not you and the children. Go out with your husband, go out with your wife, do fun things, enjoy a date once again, go out to functions and enjoy each other. When you go to a real nice function, you come home feeling sexual. You have to tell me that.
Yes.
You go to a nice wedding and you say, I can't wait till you get home.
You charge up. Yeah.
So you have to build social intimacy.
Yes.
T, intimacy of thought. That's where communication comes in. You are not Nostradamus. You need to know what your partner thinking. Have conversation. What's in your mind? And when you begin to talk, express, that thought also fills into the bedroom because you have sexual needs. You could talk to your husband, your wife, touch me here, baby, touch me there. Not, look at dummy. Talk. I need to know what's in your mind. Your plans, your wishes, your aspirations, your goals, your needs, your desires, your fantasies. There's intimacy of thought. E, intimacy of emotions. That's where you share now your heart, what you really feel. You don't want to be making love to a stone, a robot. You want to know that something is inside there. There's a person there. There's a feeling there. And so, if you notice what happens, at heights of emotional vulnerability, we generally move for physical embrace. Notice that. A child is hurting, mommy, hold me. You are hurting, honey, could you hold me? So that we're afraid of emotional intimacy. But that's a critical part. As a man, I remember crying on my wife's lap. It was the most sexual experience.
Interesting.
You see? Because she saw my soul, or she's crying and I'm holding her. So emotions. So that's S-T-E-P is physical intimacy. That's what we like. Right. But physical intimacy is in two forms. Come going to the bedroom, that's it.
Yeah.
Is sexual and non-sexual touch in physical intimacy. Sexual is, and I want to get to that a little bit, where it's real erotic, but there's non-sexual touch that also facilitates the erotic. Non-sexual touch is playthings. Pinchy little bottom, little bit, touch the head, and thing, and you know, a little ramp. But if you're ramping and she getting a headache, you're ramping too rough.
Yeah.
Right? Who am a pillow? No. Yeah. So little ramp. And another thing I say to men, not every time your wife want to play, it means she wants sex. She may just want to cuddle, she want another thing, but immediately, boom, boy, yeah, erection, ready to go. Yeah. So non-sexual touch is critical for bonding and building. Yes. And then you have now the erotic physical. Now the erotic physical, it is assumed that, okay, as a big man, as a big woman, and nobody's going and no. Erotic sexuality must be intentional. So a couple things about erotic. Oh gosh, take a bath. You see, sexual chemistry, you can't create it, but you could kill it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brush your teeth now, man.
Wow.
Yeah, some brothers, I watch your fingernail. I set a car oil under the finger. Where they going with that? Or they're rubbing the wife like sandpaper.
Oh boy.
You have to understand the body chemistry now.
Yeah.
Understand the chemicals of dopamine and acetylcholine and, you know, all these endorphins.
Right.
We have time to talk to, but understand how my body works.
Yeah.
Understand how a man is sexually responsive, how a woman is sexually responsive.
Yeah.
And it's drilling down into those areas that make the bedroom thing. Not only that, you have the aesthetics.
Yes.
You have to take attention to aesthetics. So, A man can have sex with a window open.
Light a candle.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It's candle, it's perfume, it's
Rose
this.
petals.
Yes. Let she naked, throw some ice cream on she belly and lick it. Like, all kind of different things.
All right, yes, all right.
You know, TD Jakes had this oratory thing, satin sheet slides. I don't know if you ever heard it. So this woman, she loves satin. So she deck her bed and her bedroom with satin. And the man saying, satin sheet slides. The point being, when that boy trying to have sex, the satin just have you flying and sliding all over the place. So while it's aesthetics for her, it's not practical for him. So a woman have to understand a man. Would satin work? Would this work? Would that work? So it is really a statement for married people, not to turn to porn, but not to make their sex life boring. Same thing over and over and over. Oh gosh, do it on the fridge, do it on the stove, under the bed, somewhere about the place, man. The same old half dead, limpy sex just wouldn't do.
But I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much. What we're really trying to accomplish here, we are not trying to teach anything, but we are trying to facilitate the conversation so that we can all learn and grow. It's a growing process for myself, and I hope you get value from it as well.
I mean, it's a growing process for me, and I've been married for 11 years now. And I mean, some of the things that we heard here over this period of time, I mean, it was really good. I mean, behind the scenes, I'm at all listening to the conversation.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Understand? But we here just to let you know. I mean, if you want to partner with us, hit us up in our Instagram.
Yeah.
Right? You can check us out on Facebook. I mean, continue loving it, subscribing.
Yes.
Come now, man. Comment on it.
And we want all to send your suggestions as well, things you think we should talk about. All right, this is not a teaching session where we come in to teach anything, but we come in to discuss things that has been or have been taboo. So we want to deal with some of those issues. So if you have any bright ideas, shoot it in the comments and we'll definitely take it up with the team. Yes, and we'd like to thank our special guests for these last couple of episodes that you're going to be seeing. Thank you to Pastor Don Hamilton and thank you to the therapist Rebecca Beckles. And I must thank my wife for going through and breaking through the fear barrier to be a part of the show and being on camera. Thank you so much, babe. And yeah, we missing anybody?
Hey, I think we touch everybody there. We touch everybody? Yeah. Well, here we are. Like, subscribe,
Share.
share.
Like
out.